My name is Ilham Salimane. I am the language specialist, coordinator of the language department here at the Language Center. I am the convener of two accredited courses, the language diploma in communicative Arabic, and the teacher training, which is the teaching Arabic as a foreign language. The students expect quite high expectation, and they come to SOAS because it's a very multicultural, diverse university, has a high quality teaching, and when they're talking, especially if I talk from the Language Center point of view, language is SOAS, basically, yeah. For language students, the feedback is done face-to-face after an oral, for example, an oral test or an oral exam, following the criteria, and then we also record what they've the conversation between the examiner and the student, and then the feedback is given in the form of a written report or a typed report. As for the teacher training, they do submit their assignments through Moodle, and the feedback is given in three forms. One feedback is in the peer feedback, so the feedback is given by the peers, as many as are in the course, and the other feedback is given by the tutor, and the third one is a sort of a reflection on the feedback given. So that's also is written at the end of, or is typed at the end of that feedback thread. Peer feedback, say, for example, for the teacher training, trainees must do teaching practice sessions. So, and they are observed by the trainer and by the peers, by the other trainees. So every session you probably have one is teaching and 3 people are observing, plus the trainer. At the end of that session, or prior to that session, first of all, the trainee has to upload his lesson plan. And again, there's quite a lot of feedback on the lesson plan, amending it, and so on through Moodle. And then when the class takes place, then again the trainees feedback on that session, and the tutor as well. And then finally, it's a reflection of the person who delivered the lesson, gives their feedback on it, their reflection on it. So when we're given the feedback, we always try to obviously concentrate on a maximum of 3 points, and then hoping that those 3 points in the next feedback are solved, and we focus on something else as we go. But from the student's point of view, the feedback should be constructive, and it should actually hit the points of that session and followed up on. So we follow the students on those points, and obviously also praise the students if they have actually fixed those problems. If students have special education needs, it's not always necessary, but if they are struggling, we do refer them to the right departments in the university to help them. They usually assess them and send us a report with what we can offer as help. Whether that is giving extra time to the student in lesson, giving them extra time to write their essays, or giving them some tips of how about language learning. We're not doing the same thing. We're not working in the same structure as the departments, like the type of essays, especially the language students. Pure language students don't write the reports in English, they write reports in Arabic. I had a problem with a student who had a severe dyslexia in the past, and the dyslexia in English is completely different than the dyslexia in Arabic language. So I didn't feel that the feedback was useful, unless probably we work together to see where are the problems, what are the problems, and how can we fix them and help the students in the future. We always have an induction day. The induction day goes through, we usually speak about language learning, language acquisition. How do you acquire a language? what's so useful to have, to pick as skills, looking at at sounds, looking at, you're learning a second language. In the case of Arabic language, it's completely different script. So, students have to pay you have to pay attention at the beginning, especially in the first 2 weeks. Picking up the script is a very important part of learning. We also, advise them that it's a shared responsibility for learning. So they have to have a great deal of preparation at home. Other advice we also give them is to access as much listening material that are in the SOAS website. There is a good conversations, lot of listening material. The library also has the media room. That is also, they can access the TV, they can access DVDs, CDs that are available in the library. So it's quite depends what's the issues that we'll tackle in different ways. With our courses, because they are small groups, they tend to really help each other. So really, they do support each other in revising together. Supporting each other. Don't worry, and then so they do study together. But however, the support of the tutors is very, very important. I think towards the last minute, we've been supporting students. Like they come to you every time they have a little question. So being there, I think, and opening the office hours to a larger number of hours helps students knowing that you are there for their questions. Yeah. The feedback from the students about the course is it's very important. So we take that at least twice every term. Once about 5 or 6th week of the term, when we ask the students to give us their feedback, which is just no particular form, but feedback. What do you think? How are you doing? What do you think should be improved? And do you think you are making progress? And then again, towards the end of the term, we make there's a standard form that all accredited courses fills in, which includes all aspects of feedback, including administration, resources, facilities. Our courses finishes quite late, so we finish around July. So we here for 9 to 11 months for the students. We start in September, we finish in July, and then there's a follow-up on taking the final essays and the marking and everything. So for it being a long year, I think our students need more support, because everybody gets tired if it's a long academic year, staff and students. But having the right staff who goes out of their way to be there for students, it's important. I think intensive courses, like other courses that we have, needs a particular type of staff. I think the staff is a workforce, I call it, and it's a good workforce. So building a good team, so that if someone is not there, the other person is there, and then we are always also teachers between them must give feedback to each other about students. So if we are all responsible about a group, 3 or 4 of us are responsible about this group of students, it's important that we do meet once or twice a week to discuss the progress of these students. That can also be a challenging part of the courses. Yeah. We emphasize on the fact that students must prepare at home mainly vocabulary, if they are language learners. For any other students, I think it's the same thing. Read, I think probably in other departments, learning or reading before coming to class does the same. Has the same role or has the same effect. If you don't read outside the classroom before you come, the topic that you'll be discussing, then there is no point. And this, if a student doesn't take this advice carefully, they tend to they feel overwhelmed when they are in the class. They feel behind. They feel that they are slowing everybody down because they're not taking part. And make sure that all students know that preparation. It's important that it's clear to them what to prepare. and it's manageable.